What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Innuendo. If you don't get it, we innuendo. You see the fresh haircut, you already know. But if you with it, when it's finished, in the innuendo, man. Let's go. Look, back at it like a bad habit. Another video for you guys. A subscriber sent me this video, so I wanted to check it out with you guys to get kind of like a idea for the most part. This commentary video today. White Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter explodes. It's 10 minutes long. Let's get it in.
I'm tired of this Black Lives Matter lie. Yeah, everywhere you go, I go to Grubhub, Uber Eats, Twitter, Facebook. Hell, I get a telemarketer calling me, please donate to Black Lives Matter. I'm tired of this damn lie, so I'm going to expose it. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you. I got to show you, because if I don't show you, you're going to call me a liar and a sellout and a...
Okay, so go to context before we even fully get started. But I did a video not that long ago. Well, I don't know how long ago it was, but on the same channel, talking about some of the owners of Black Lives Matter, the co-founders, so to speak, using the money for Black Lives Matter to their own expense of buying, not really giving towards the community per se, but towards themselves, multiple mansions and vehicles and so forth. It's like, okay, so treat yourself, but they kind of go in a little extreme where that money could have went to something more appropriate. And we always hear Black Lives Matter, and I think that is a strong sentiment. But have anybody ever realized how much that has been pushed and thrown in your face as like a thing where it's like, okay, Black Lives Matter, yes, but you don't hear about any other situation. Most people tend to say, well, Black Lives Matter are most important, but typically speaking, that's just because of the color of your skin, so you're going to go with that. If anybody was to say all lives matter, we get offended and stuff like that, sure. I understand to an extent, but a lot of stuff is smoke and mirrors, and I feel like there's more hype towards Black Lives Matter and more chaos towards it than you hearing about anything else. Realistically, it's not fair for any cop killings of any kind, whether it be a cop doing something to anybody that's unlawful, or the reverse of when a cop has been attacked in the line of duty. And either situation is just as terrible, especially because everybody has a family and no one wants for them to be gone and stuff. In some scenarios and situations, cops can take it overboard, but sometimes they could be fighting for their lives. And I can understand that fearfulness, but at the same token, with them having a weapon and a lot of situations happen, and not just to black people, but in general, can make other people fearful of their lives, because most of the time we don't have a weapon. And we're being attacked, and they're physically stronger with their training and everything. We're just regular everyday citizens. So, but it's not just Black Lives Matter, man. It's way more deeper than that.
Uncle Tom and a coon. Bad things happen to all races by the cops. Yeah, that catchphrase, Black Lives Matter, it duped a lot of us, but it didn't get us. Yeah, it's catchy though, but I didn't fall for it. Look here, first case.
Newly released body camera footage of this police shooting shows Daniel Shaver's last moments. Police were responding to reports of a man pointing a rifle out of a hotel room window.
Hands up in the air! You do that again, we're shooting you. Do you understand? Please do not shoot me.
Begging for his life.
Then listen to my instructions. I'm trying to do it. Don't talk! Listen! Hands straight up in the air. Do not put your hands down for any reason.
But you got to see this officer or whatever. He's in a full suit on. This guy, and I can understand, like, it's not a movie though, but I can understand if a cop thinking like maybe he's gonna pull out a gun out of his back pocket or something like that. But in some instances, like this, he's fully equipped to handle the situation. But this is why, like, you sit there and you. Most of the time, this is why they have multiple officers on scene. You wonder why cops pull over behind each other. It's because it's supposed to technically be for more witnesses, and so a situation is not like kind of like something doesn't happen, and they like, oh, this happened, is their word against it. That's another thing. Another thing that they did now. I mean, they've had it for a while now, but they implemented a lot more and more. Is the body cams that they have on them is similar to that. It's supposed to be like another thing to show proof of the situation.
You think you're gonna fall? You better fall on your face. Your hands go back in the small of your back or down. We are going to shoot you. Do you understand me?
An officer then orders Shaver to crawl toward him. Shaver complies, but then moves his right hand behind him despite the warning. Officer Philip Mitchell Brailsford fires 5 rounds, killing Shaver. Brailsford was charged with second-degree murder over this January 2016 shooting. In an interview with police, he said he thought Shaver was going for a gun, saying, quote, "He could have easily and quickly drawn a weapon down on us and fired without aiming, and he could have hit us or the citizen that we had just detained." No gun was found on Shaver. Brailsford was acquitted last week.
This kid is drunk. Yeah. He's begging for his life.
Especially if he's drunk. See, that's the thing. Like, situations happen, situations arrive, but if he's drunk, like, he's kind of irrational and emotional, so the kid he's not going to fully do, like, the correct things like he's supposed to. That's the whole shebang. Like, it's not just a matter of, oh, he put his hand slightly behind his back, he must be reaching for a gun. You got to be able to completely have an understanding of, like, what's really going on. Especially if a person is drunk or whatever. They're going to be irrational. Like I said, I get they could be scared for their lives too, but you got a whole AR pointed at him, bro.
Yeah. And the cop shoots him anyway. Yeah. The cop walks. Yeah, got acquitted. You didn't hear about it because he's white. Just imagine if this kid's name was Tyrone. A black kid crying. Imagine if this was George Floyd begging for his life. Yeah. It'd be front page news, but you didn't because it's some white kid with privilege. They're not going to show you that case because they're trying to spin it like this only happens to black folks. Next case.
This Tony's the only thing we can get.
Help me!
In 2016, Tony Timpa called Dallas police for help.
You're gonna kill me!
And this
You're gonna kill me!
was the help he got. Restrained
Tony, start to school.
and mocked until he died.
This was a tragedy. It was needless and avoidable.
From a Dallas parking lot, Timpa dialed 911 and said he was a schizophrenic, was off his meds, and had taken cocaine.
Tony, look at me, bro.
Officers show up, but Timpa is hysterical, already handcuffed by a store security guard. He's then restrained like this for about 14 minutes, and officers can be heard laughing as Timpa's face is buried into the ground. Jeff Henley is representing Timpa's family.
And why do they keep doing it? It's like 20 of them. Once you got him handcuffed, first of all, and hold down, he's not doing nothing. So you don't have to then apply more pressure. Like, come on now, they blow me with that. Like, he like something really about to pop off now. It's like 12 of y'all over there, bro. Like, one officer, I'm not trying to condone this, but one officer, maybe he can overpower 2, but his hands are already cuffed, and there's like 4 or 5 of them over there. It's no way. You guys are way more equipped to handle that kind of situation than, come on, man.
Against the city of Dallas in a federal lawsuit. He says officers knew Timpa was on something and should not have restrained him this long.
From this, radically prone position, Tony is going to suffer asphyxia.
When Timpa does stop breathing, officers continue to crack jokes.
Is he asleep? He's snoring, that's what it was.
But they stop in their tracks when a paramedic says the 32-year-old is dead.
All this stuff.
He's dead.
He's what?
He's dead.
He died just like George Floyd did. Yeah, smothered him to death. But this guy didn't have an extensive prison record like George Floyd, right? And the cops are mocking the dude after he's dead. They saying he's asleep. Yeah. You didn't hear about it because he's white. Imagine if
That and the whole George Floyd thing, that sat there and tried to spin it on his head, because after we sitting there fighting something, so that's crazy that they did to George Floyd, and then you see all these different stuff pop up talking about some, well, technically speaking, George Floyd had a criminal record, and so what is that supposed to mean? That he was supposed to die because he did some bad things in his life? If I go to the store and go steal a candy bar and the cops arrest me over like a 50-cent candy bar or whatever, and that same situation happened, well, technically he stole a candy bar, so it's on his record that he did something bad. So did that make it okay for them to then attack because I had some kind of, because I did something bad? Come on, like, you gotta put 2 and 2 together. Like, sure, like, whatever crazy thing George Floyd did, does that mean that we then can just be like, okay, let me put matters in my own hands and just treat him any kind of way because I want to act like he's scum? That's that. Come on now, that I don't know. But I've heard people talk about George Floyd all the time. Beginning, I was like, yo, that's so crazy. But now I hear how people really talking about George Floyd, and he was like, you should hear the truth and stuff. You hear all these people talking about the truth about George Floyd and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, fine. He had a criminal record. Does that make? Come on now. That doesn't mean anything about a cop doing this, that, and the third, putting matters in their own hands.
This guy was a black guy. 2 police officers standing over a black body, laughing. Not gonna hear about it. Doesn't fit the media narrative. Yeah. Next case.
Police body camera footage captured the shooting, and the moment officers realized there was a boy in the car.
I never saw a kid in the car, man.
6-year-old Jeremy Martist, who is autistic, died in the front seat, shot 4 times. His father, Chris Few, was critically wounded. Speaking publicly about that night for the first time today, Mr. Few told the jury officers gave no warning before they opened fire. I had my hands in the air, Few testified. I put my hands out the window. They kept shooting. Several witnesses also told the jury Mr. Few had his hands up, which body camera footage appears to confirm. But Officer Derek Stafford's attorney says he and his partner acted in self-defense after a 2-mile pursuit.
He negligently and intentionally reversed his vehicle in an attempt to hit the officers.
Few admitted to drinking that night but told the jury he would never hit an officer and only wanted to get his son to a caretaker so the boy wouldn't be involved in a possible arrest. The prosecution argues nothing Few did that night justified the deadly response.
Derek Stafford is on trial, and it's just a shame that they want to put the victim on trial.
A 6-year-old white autistic kid and his father get shot up, gunned down by 2 black police officers. Now, the father lived, but the kid didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't hear about this because the victims are white.
Yeah, little boy, man, 6 years old, got shot 5 times. They emptied 18 rounds in that car.
That horrible thing that happened to Tamir Rice up in Cleveland, right? They singing that out like this only happens to black kids. There's an article I found.
Now tell him, Tamir Rice was a 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
They got shot and killed because he was brandishing a fake gun.
A toy gun.
A toy gun. It looked real.
It was a gun replica.
Yeah.
Right?
Cops roll up, shoot and kill the young kid.
Right? Now, this is not an isolated incident. There's an article up on Washington Post written back in 2016 over the span of 2 years, 85 to 86 shootings by cops, people brandishing fake toy guns.
Yeah.
50 of them that died out of the 86, they were white.
Yeah.
You didn't hear about it because it doesn't fit the media narrative.
Yeah. Which is extremely crazy, especially if you consider the fact, okay, so a toy gun, like, in one hand, it's like an officer doesn't know if situation's about to pop off or whatever the case is, but even to the extent that it goes, it doesn't have to get that far. Cops don't know how to disable a weapon or stop a situation from getting any worse. All they do is just aim and fire. They don't know how to shoot the gun out of his hand. It's still pretty bad, but I feel like in the whole situation, it probably could have been less bad, and anything is better than death. I don't know if YouTube will like any. Oh my gosh. I gotta watch my words around YouTube, because YouTube might sit there and block a video for certain words or phrases that say it. But anything's better than unaliving yourself. And I'm like, so did it have to get to that? Over a toy plastic firearm.
Yeah. That whole Black Lives Matter, it's a lie. That's what pisses people off in that organization, on the news. That's why they mock people when they say all lives matter. No, all lives matter doesn't. It's not that. It's just about black lives. Because if you say all lives matter,
it kills that narrative.
That narrative falls apart.
Everybody knows that there's black men is not being gunned down by systemically racist police force.
They act like this damn United States is like a scene out of that damn movie, The Purge.
Yeah. And they keep saying, look at the prisons. All these black people incarcerated. Why? Because of the color of their skin, or because they was robbing people, killing people, committing crimes? If they're in jail because they're black, it's 2020.
It's pretty easy to get them out. You gotta have evidence to be in jail. Derek Chauvin's case, they're painting this like he's a white supremacist. Right. That he killed George Floyd because he was black. But why is that the default? Simply due to the fact that Chauvin was a white guy and George Floyd was black? I could see if there's evidence that this dude was in the KKK or he had racist emails. There's a history of racism. Nazi tattoos or something. It's got to be something. Your default cannot be racist. Just because he's white and the victim's black. That's being racist. Look, the 4 cops involved with George Floyd's death, and that was a murder. They all 4 of them need to be held responsible for that. Right. I'm not saying that. But out of the 4 police, it wasn't 4 white police officers. No. 2 of them was white. Yeah. 1 was Asian. Yep. And the other one was black. Yeah. So how is this prove that there's systemic racism in the police force? Why does this dude Chauvin, why do we look at him and say this is all cops? When we look at black folks, we don't say they're all criminals. When we look at white folks, we don't say they're all racist. Yeah. When we look at Muslims, we don't say they're all terrorists. Why do we get to call all cops bad because of 1 bad cop? Because that's what the media wants. They're going to push this narrative, and look how it's divided the country. Yeah. They have split this country in half. These riots, people actually think cops out there hunt down black people for the simple fact that they're black, and there's no evidence of that. None. No statistics, no facts. They just tell you that black men are getting gunned down. It's all BS. It's all BS, and that's why I would
It's what the media has its agenda and likes to push out. And a lot of times, I think a lot of us fall into that kind of mindset of when you hear that, that's what you think. Because we get most of our information from the media. But the media, like 9 times out of 10, first of all, the Weather Channel alone can't even completely be correct about what kind of weather it's going to be. It can say it's going to snow and be this amount of inches, and it could be worse or no snow at all. Like we can't even rely on what we see and hear versus what actually happened. People will sit there and spin a narrative because it sounds good, and a lot of times cops have their quota, so certain situations can be going in one direction, or it could just be a regular situation, but maybe the media said, oh, this doesn't even sound as interesting, so let's spike it up. Like, you can't just trust everything the media says. I used to always hear that CNN is probably the worst offender of that kind of stuff, but you don't really know what you're getting. You're just kind of, that's why I don't really watch the news. I don't have cable, so I don't watch the news. But like when it comes to that kind of stuff, what are you supposed to take from that? Especially like if you don't do your own research around it. So, I mean, when I watch the videos, I watch all these kind of videos, get a good idea, but you don't really know what exactly you're getting yourself into when it comes to this. 18 minutes, goddamn.
Never stand with Black Lives Matter, because it's all a lie. It's a lie to simply make black people feel that they're less American than everybody else. Yeah, to keep black people indebted to the Democrat Party. Yeah, that's what it's all about. And look at Black Lives Matter organization. Look at all the contributions they get. Look where that money's going. It's going.
Bernie Biden for president. Okay, and also too, I don't know if people know this, but the Republican, Democrat, that whole situation, like a lot of us thought that we're supposed to be Democrat because they kind of focus on us, but that's not even true. There's been a lot of presidents who were Republicans who've actually, and this is true, you can look this up, this is true facts and stuff, who've actually helped us out and did a lot of good stuff or whatever. People just naturally assumed that the help we got was from a Democrat. But I believe, I believe from the information I learned, I believe it was Abraham Lincoln who was a Republican, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong on that, you can correct me, but I gotta look up the information later. But yeah, there's plenty of Republicans who are for black people. Republican, Democrat, that whole situation will have you confused, and then once you're thinking, oh, this side is on my side, is when they can spin their narratives and agendas without you even thinking about it, because you're gonna think, well, they must be on my side, because that's like thinking a black person is that's like if you see like Donald Trump, Obama, like stuff like that, people will either sit there and look at if they're Democrat or Republican, or we'll look at what it seems like they're about and what they're for. And a lot of black people were extremely excited for Obama being in office and extremely disappointed for Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump he just didn't care what he said. He just said whatever he came to mind and stuff like that. I think, but then you got to think too that Congress puts a lot in that. So it's not just the fact of the president doesn't know what they're doing. They don't really have a say so because they don't get the final say. They're just the face. They're the face of the United States. This is what we see. But we're not gonna sit there and be like thinking about Congress and this we're not gonna be thinking of Congress and all the members and senators and everything. Like, we're not gonna be thinking about all that. We're just gonna think, oh, this is Obama's fault or this is Donald Trump's fault, not realizing. And sure, Donald Trump says some outlandish things, but that does not mean that Obama was just the better president just because of the color of his skin or just because Democrat or so forth. Because then people had the reverse mindset when it came to Hillary Clinton being a Democrat. Pretty sure because Obama was supporting her, so I believe she was a Democrat as well. But people had the reverse idea for her being a Democrat because of some stuff they heard, and pick Donald Trump because they said he was the less of two evils. Life and logic makes no sense.
Going to Democrat presidential candidates. It's not going to black people. It's not going to black neighborhoods. No. It's going to rich old white men running for president. Oh, that's what I call white privilege. Yeah. Go to officialhorsetwins.com.
Why did he have to get so close to the camera? But yeah, and that's something to really think about because I don't think people think about that kind of stuff like they should. But open your eyes. Open your eyes. Open your third eye if you got to open your third eye. People always say I'm woke, but I think as society, in America and anywhere else, just as a human being on planet Earth, that we've been asleep for a while. So it's time to wake up. It's been your boy Innuendo, man. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends. I put new videos out every single week. We're on the road to 100, man. Let's keep pushing. I think it's 7 subs on this channel. Let's keep going. Main channel, road to 400, 352. Let's go. Appreciate you guys. I love you, man. Check out the gaming channel, Innuendo Gaming. Main channel, Eli Innuendo. And then we got Innuendo as the commentary channel. So let's go. Thank you guys so much, man. We got more topics like this coming soon, man. We gotta be woke, man. Not stop saying stay woke and be woke, man. Because everyone's been asleep. Okay, realistically. So it's time to be aware of a lot of the stuff that we really haven't thought about. I keep looking at my haircut though. Yeah, it's time to, we gotta be aware of some stuff people don't even consider and think about. This is big business, man. There's no jokes around here. Let's get it in, man. I love you guys. Stay blessed. Don't stress. God take care of the rest. I'll see you guys in the next, man.